whether players are getting paid, whether politics is involved. You think of all the things. Those two are all distractions. What a kid has to go through now, you got to just beat the hell out of people and play hard, and you're a damn good player. You didn't have all these other things to deal with, You're getting so old that Twitter wasn't invented when you were there either, so you're no different than me. But those things are all factors that these kids got to deal with every day, and it's amazing when you think about it, to keep consistency. So that's what I'm probably proudest of.
Your guys all got off Twitter. They decided to all get off Twitter.
Yeah,
was that probably a happy day for you.
It was happy, except that they got these other things, Snapchat and what are the other ones, So, Twitter is something, because I don't like when they read what everybody says, because I think that screws up more kids. I really do. It screws up more people. And if it means that they're going to take that 7-8 hours of social media that the average college student is doing, and we can get it down to 5, I'd be happy. But if they change Twitter into Snapchat or something else, it's still a waste of time.
Someone mentioned the other day, with Steven on the team, does that put you here for at least another 4?
No, Steven wouldn't put me here for another 4. What'll put me here for another 4 is the state of college basketball, whether I have the energy and enthusiasm to take the red-eye flights from Vegas, whether I enjoy the grind, and I don't see that going at all right now. But, Steven, he could be here a year, he could be here a half year. I might kick him off the team. I don't know. But that won't be my determining factor of what I do. But it is. It's been good. It really has been good. It's just a little different, but it's been good. But for me, the day, and I said this, and I will say this, but I don't even really want to talk about it because I don't plan on being done anytime soon. But the minute it's always going to be no fun when you're going through it, And if catastrophic things happen, which has happened here before, it makes it different. But for the most part, as long as I enjoy what I'm doing, get this, to work early in the morning, still go to all my football games, I don't plan on leaving, keep recruiting good kids. I like where I'm at right now.
Coach, this league's always been good, but can you talk a little bit about just the depth of this league now, and especially with the 20-game schedule, how much of a grind that is when you get into conference play?
I tell you, when we went from 16 games to 18 games to 20, every time we added 2 games, you feel like you added 4. And yet I really do agree, I'm not giving him credit because he's on his way out, but those are some of the great things Jim did. He has the foresight to realize that it's probably going to help us in the long run. And the greatest compliment you can give if somebody copies you. Well, people are copying us on the Big Ten Network. They're all coming to it. People are copying us on extending our games. We were one of the first to go to 20. I don't know if we were the first, but one of the first. But it is a grind. It is a grind, boy. Those conference games, the worst conference game is a lot harder to win, especially on the road, than a good conference game. It's just because everybody knows everybody, the fans, the players, keeping guys up now is probably the hardest thing, keeping them up and away from the distractions. It's harder than it was 10 years ago.
Tom, your view of that second national title, how has it evolved? You mentioned validate, and you say it's won. How has that evolved over the last year?
Because when they say I won a national championship, now I'm having trouble remembering when that was. That's how it's evolved. It's been so long ago, Teddy, I can't even hardly remember it. But what keeps me going is we're knocking on the door quite a few times in that period. It's just, I want I want our fans, I want our players, I want our media, I want everybody that's involved with us to be able to share in something like that, because it is one of those once-in-a-lifetime things. I just being greedy and I want it twice in my lifetime, But it is it's something to shoot for, and like last year, I thought we were knocking on the door. I'm not sure it was our greatest team. I think if Kyle Arns would have stayed a little healthier, but that's always the case. If someone else would have been healthier, we might not have won the national championship. What's his name at Cincinnati? Kenyon Martin doesn't go down, we would have been a 2 seed. We wouldn't have been playing in Cleveland. We might have been, they might have been the best team in the country. So I realize you got to be lucky, you got to be good, and yet we're knocking on the door. You cannot get there if you're not knocking on the door. Nobody gets into a house that they don't knock on the door. So I'm knocking on that door. Damn problem, my wife won't let me in, and right now I just like to get in that door again.
Tom, you mentioned all the people that Cashel is going to have this preseason and everything. What have you seen in him that is going to make him able to handle that, just in his personality?
Well, he's shown a great ability to kind of be unflawed. He doesn't get frazzled very often. That's why I call him, sometimes cool casual Cassius. Okay? Sometimes that's a compliment. Once in a while it's an insult. But the insulting part of it still makes him able to deal with things maybe better than I do. It's a little more up and down. He just has that steady flow to him. And I think he is hungry. I do think he realized he had to get stronger. He did a hell of a job in the weight room. We'll see on his defense now if that gets better. But I think that needed to get better. And I think his vocal leadership needed to get better. I'm trying to convince guys that if you have all the knowledge in the world, you don't share it with somebody who gets the knowledge. And so trying to do that part of it. But I see him wanting to. I see him coming in the meetings more and talking more and coming by the office more. I just think he has a feel that, this is my chance now and I need my teammates with me. You don't get those assist records if your team isn't making shots. They don't count it when you pass to yourself. And so I think those things are all important.
Xavier said he thought Cash was gone. I think Xavier thought a lot of the players thought Cash was gone. Did you think there was a good chance he was going to come back?
You know what? I didn't think he was gone. Number one, I know enough people in the NBA to kind of know where they thought he was. Number two, he's got a mother that thinks he should get his master's done and probably his doctorate started. Wow. And I'm dead serious on that, right? 100%. So that wasn't flying so good. So I did not think he was gone, Remember this about players. By next year, there'll be a lot of guys think my son is going to be gone. They all think everybody's gone. The Pistons are at our place right now doing their winter camp. They're going to our place this year, and sitting there with those guys and realize how many good players are out there practicing and not even going to make the team. Our poor guys have such a distorted vision, and it's caused by all of us. You, me, the society. We all cause it, and I just think that. It's funny when you think of it that way, that everybody thinks they're going next year, I probably got 5 guys think they're going next year, If I got that many good players, I better win it all. But I don't see my team like Carolina's was when 4 came back to win it.
Chambers, Guard, and Hoiberg all talked about you calling them, advice. Greg Gard, you've called after he beat you, and then after you beat him to give him advice when you had to play him again, about what you mean as a mentor. I know respect matters to you. What does that mean to you? These guys do look up to you, and all 3 called you a mentor.
Well, that means I'm getting old. That ticks me off. That's not the truth. So tell all 3 of them that I'm ticked off at them. But what I do like about it is Judd was the ultimate, cared about the profession, the program. When I came in the league, Bobby Knight, Gene Cady, Clem Haskins, those guys all helped me grow, and I had to do it their way. They told me, you'll lose to me for 3 years, then we'll let you go. I said, okay, whatever. But they did a lot for me. And I see some of these guys now, you're getting fired when you get hired. Usually you got a couple of years, and it's so much harder. I feel for the guy at Rutgers now in football. And, that's just the way it is. So I know that how guys feel. I know when I thought, I didn't buy a house the first year I had the job. I was waiting until I kept the job for a couple of years, and that was back 25 years ago. So now, I might rent for the first 7 years now because you never know what's going to happen. But I do care about the coaches. I do care about Michigan State. Everybody knows that, but I do care about the Big Ten. I'm a Big Ten guy. I love the Big Ten. But I do that too, I've gotten to know a lot of people by just cold calling, whether it be our coaches or others. I talked to Bobby Bowden the other night. Did you see that special on him? It was Faith, Family, and Football, the Bowden legacy, and it was awesome. And I just called him to tell him how great I thought it was and get a little advice. I think that's the coolest part of my job. And now that I've gotten at least enough credibility that I can just call people like that and they'll pick up the phone, it's really worthwhile. So why shouldn't I share with the younger guys things that I've known and I feel good about that.
Cassius Winston said it's fun to be top dog. That's referring to preseason #1. What are your thoughts, and how have you maybe handled that in the past when you've been highly ranked?
So much fun it is on November 5th or whatever, Sure, it's always fun at the beginning. But I think it's a privilege. I do, and I try to tell my guys, we can't look at this as a burden. We got to look at it as a privilege. We have earned the right to be one off. And so they flip a coin, somebody's got to be it. And this time the coin turned green, But we know that there's always 8 or 10 teams that have a legitimate chance to go deep into the tournament every year. Of those 8 or 10, most don't make it. So we know that too, But I think that we are embracing it. I don't think we're thinking we're bigger, but now things start, the camp out, Midnight Madness, the exhibition games. Then you get a real feel whether
going back,
they're drinking their own Kool-Aid or not.
Sorry about that. Going back to Xavier, I know a lot of news has been made about Cassius' decision to come back, and I'm curious during the offseason, was there any conversations between you two about you testing the draft waters at all?
With Cassius?
No, with Xavier.
With Xavier?